Hello, my name is Morgan Gray, and welcome back to Afrocentric.
JP, right, give it to her.
Let's go. All white men, some Asian, maybe Mexicans, but black men don't cheat.
Girl going through my phone, trying to see if I was doing wrong. But I had to let her know I don't creep. Cause baby girl, black men don't cheat.
You say that it's a lie, but it's true. A black man won't cheat on you. Never seen a black man cheat in the streets. I ain't never seen a black man cheat in the streets. I ain't never seen a black all white man, some Asian, maybe Mexican, but black men don't.
We don't funk with racism. We don't funk with people who don't support the LGBTQ plus community. And baby, we damn sure don't funk with anybody who don't love a beautiful black queen, baby. You see this tape.
You don't let nobody act black and then go home and be white.
It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the coon chip in the average Negro.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
Black men and women have been beefing on the internet for the past 5 years. With the rise of the Passport Pookies, arguments surrounding going 50-50 in relationships, and the elevation and evolution of high-value men, the concept of black love seems to be a thing of the past. When we come across something online that is so egregious and outrageous, we can't help but to respond. Just pay attention that you might be falling into a rage farming trap. Manipulators tend to use read, anger, response cycles to rile up the black community as well as tear us down. So with this episode, it is our goal to provide a safe place for black men to openly discuss their thoughts about manhood, black love, and platonic friendships. So join me and my guests, Billy Hamilton and Dalvin Tate, as we divulge into the inner workings of black manhood. And if I were you, I would stick around until the end of this episode so you could hear the questions submitted by black male listeners. And if you like this podcast, make sure to follow, share, subscribe, and leave a review.
God did not create Adam and Eve at the same time. He created Adam first, gave Adam his responsibility, gave Adam his word, because God holds men responsible first. When men abandon their lead responsibility, women are critical, they're essential. He uses easier kenigdo. She's an essential collaborator. But when mankind fell, God didn't come and say, Adam and Eve, where are y'all? He said, Adam, where are you? The Bible says in Adam all die, not in Adam and Eve all die.
Wow.
When God did the covenant, he said, I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not Sarah, Rebecca, and Rachel. In other words, he would hold men ultimately responsible.
Yeah, welcome back to the Afrocentric podcast. Yes, my name is Morgan Gray, and well, I'm back again in Black Men's Business, and I'm so happy to be here. And today I have with me Mr. Billy and Dalvin Tate. Holla at them, say hey.
Yo, what's up? What's good?
Oh, y'all sound so excited. Yeah. All right, so Billy, you know, the men really felt like with the last episode we did that you really represented them and they really felt heard. So that's why I brought you back. And, you know, I hope you make them niggas proud.
Hey, we're going to represent best way I can. You know, just if I say anything wrong, charge to my head, not my heart.
Well, I'm going to tell you because they going to do that. Them niggas told me to shut the fuck up. Yeah, they told me to shut the fuck up and listen to black men. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna be quiet, but when y'all leave, I'm gonna talk again.
Hey, what you do is your business.
Anyway, let's go ahead and divulge into this conversation. So the first question reads, what are the characteristics or qualities that define manhood in the Black community?
Well, I don't know if people have their own individual characteristics or things that they consider, but I know all the stereotypes that I've run across that I can think of off the top of my head. You have hyper aggressive, you have uneducated, you have dishonest, you have disloyal, but you also have stylish, you have sexy, you have
handsome.
Physically strong, handsome.
Gotta put handsome in now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then hustlers.
Okay, so like I feel like when I formatted this question, what I really want, like when you think of Black manhood, what do you think of? Those are the characteristics that you really think of?
Well, no, I was in when I answered that at first. That's more so of the stereotypical characteristics. Now, me personally, I think Black men, just like I said earlier, hustlers, stylish, handsome. We're really a vibe, to be honest with you. Like Black boy joy, that's the thing. Don't let nobody tell you different. That's the real thing out you. So I just feel like that we have too many negative things assigned to us, and we need to look more towards the positive aspects of us.
Okay, so what about you, Dalvin? What characteristics do you think of when you think about Black manhood?
You know, basically like being the backbone of the relationship or friendship or whatever it is, being strong enough to uphold and uplift their partner and all that, kind of stuff. And, even other Black men, because nowadays, some Black men just are out here not doing what they need to be doing. And
what they doing that they don't need to be doing? If you're gonna speak about it, be brave about it.
I mean, about the manhood, like, they're not upholding their, I guess, what they should be doing on their side, because in a sense, people always say, or, female women always say, all men are this or all men are that. No, not really. It's just what they see. And what they see are those men that aren't, upholding themselves to the true standards that they should be, as Billy mentioned earlier,
Billy, you got anything to add to that?
Trying to think, what could I add to that?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like the characteristics that are applied to Black men are positive or negative?
I feel like more so now it used to be real negative at first. Like, I want to say over the past 5 years, we're moving more towards the self, like we're boosting ourselves, and we are more than what the society say we are. We are more than what Black women say we are. And when they talking shit about us, we're more than what other people might say we are when they talking shit about us. And then over the past 5 years, you've seen this shift between what society say Black men are to what we're trying to figure out what we are ourselves. So like, that's why I threw out those stereotypes at first, because that was old status quo. Now we moving on to this Black King movement. We moving on to this, we're becoming better Black men, stronger Black men, more confident Black men.
Well, do you feel like the Black King movement is an inclusive movement? Do you feel like it's a diverse movement?
Depends on who you ask. I mean, me personally, I feel like it could be diverse, it could be inclusive, but you might pose that question to somebody else and they feel differently. But it depends on, I guess it depends on the personality.
All right, so the second question is do you believe that Black men have a different social moral code, or compared to like other races of men? And if so, what are some of the morals or values that you have adopted into your life as a Black man?
Well, first of all, I just want to lead off with Black people as a whole are very passionate. I believe I've said this before. So with us being so passionate, that rubs off into our friendships, the relationships we have with other men. So it's definitely a brotherhood between Black men. I don't know if it's like that for other races. Based off the things that I've seen that happen between men of other races, I wouldn't think so. I feel like it's a little different between Black men, but that's where the bro code comes in, the real bro code. And as far as some of the things that have applied in my life, you've heard the whole bros before hoes thing, but then you have things such as you stay off a man's grass. And if you don't know what a man's grass is, you take the last 3 letters out grass and you stay away from that man's grass. You feel me? So, things like that, just you try not to tear down your fellow Black man. No snitching. Just little things like that you wouldn't think that goes into being a Black man if that's not really significant. But once you kind of get off in that realm and you live your life by these codes, you start to realize, oh, this is how I interact with other people, and this is how I act with my brother. You feel what I'm saying?
Facts. And back on what Billy said about being passionate, like I feel like we're some of the most passionate people on the planet. But a lot of times us as Black men don't know how to express that passion. Some men can express it easily. Some men express it in ways like, Billy likes to, he likes to. Billy's in the band. He plays the drum, stuff like that. It's something he's passionate about. He can express himself that way. But not all men can find those outlets. Not all men, especially Black men, because they feel like they have to be this certain way, or they can't express themselves the way they want to, so they suppress it.
Okay, so one question that I've been asked very often is like, if you think the world was in reverse, like if Black people ran the earth and white people were the minorities, do you feel like Black men specifically would handle the earth differently, as well as like being ran by morality?
Okay. Okay, because that requires a lot of context, a lot of historical context, and I don't think. I don't know, man. I don't think Black men are that evil.
You know what? My answer to this question is always no. I don't feel like Black men or Black people as a whole would like run the world the same exact way as the colonizers were, because Black people in Africa had a different set of morality. That's what I'm trying to like, I guess, pull on with this question. You should read, I want to say his name is Abe Achebe, and it's like a documentation of like African people, the way that they lived in a specific country in Africa. I want to say in Nigeria, before the colonizers came to Africa, and they were talking about the different ways that Black men like handled and exchanged like money, or how they handled conflict. We have like a history of like oral connotation, so we talk shit out. That's something that we usually do. But I really do feel like if we had the opportunity, or if Black men had the opportunity to be over it, it would be ran differently.
Yeah, I feel you on that. My whole thing is, just think about all the Black people here. Even if we had the chance to, we built this country. If we had the chance to run it like we're supposed to, like the colonizers have, I don't feel like we would react the same way that they have, because first of all, even with us being in our position now, not once have we had any riots, protest. We had protests, but like nothing too crazy outside of civil rights. Man, we've been pretty much calm. Like, hey man, integration. We just want to go to the same school, sit on the same bus, but you know, we can still deal with discrimination, prejudice, and all this other shit. We fine with that. We not gonna burn nothing for that. But you know, long as we can sit in the same places and you know walk through the front door at the same time, you know, everything's all good. So I feel like just because we've had this moment of where like we've been oppressed for so long, but we haven't retaliated. You know, we get along with white people now. For the most, I ain't even gonna say for the most part. Some of the times we get along with white people.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's not like this whole we've dealt with slavery for so long and now we finna revolt. Like, that's not in us. I don't feel like that's in us. So if we had the chance to take the reins in our hands, I feel like all this shit would be different.
And I agree, because even if we had the power, even if the roles were reversed, everything was switched, we don't have the energy to keep up with any of that. I know I don't have the energy to keep up with a lot of stuff now. So I can imagine the black community, black people as a whole, trying to, you know, put their own spin per se on how things are now. How, you know, how the government is now. But like, nah, I feel like we would do something that would, you know, make a difference. Something that would change. Something that would not follow the path what we've always been lied to or taught, you know?
Mm-hmm. So let's focus on the second part of the question, which is what type of values or morals that you have like personally adopted into your life as a man. Dav, you want to start?
Well, I know a lot of the morals that I've adopted into my life. I've had to pretty much have a battle inside my head, you know, with it, because you're taught one thing, you know, as a child at home, and then you go to school, and then you learn and see and experience different things, and then that only changes and amplifies when you know, graduate, go to college, and actually start your adult life. And it doesn't really hit you until you actually, you know, come across a situation where you have to be like, okay, is this what I need to do? Is this what I want to do? Is this for me? You know, and as far as the morals, you know, that I've adopted, I feel like a good portion of my life I was following, you know, other people's morals, you know, social morals, or just whatever I saw. But I always knew inside myself that that wasn't me, that there was something else that I needed to achieve within myself. So I don't know. I guess you could say I was pretty intellectual at an early age because I recognized a lot of things. And I remember telling my mom one time, like we were watching something on TV. I told her, whenever I see somebody, you know, do something good to somebody else, just like in public, that gives me a good feeling. And, you know, it gives me hope that there are actually people out there like that, like me, who actually have those morals, who have the energy to want to believe that even if society has us trying to go in one direction, you know, trying to fit in this box, trying to fit in this little space or whatever, put us aside, whatever you want to call it, that we can be whoever we want to be. We just have to realize that and be honest with ourselves.
That's beautiful. Big Billy, what's your morality talking about?
Well, you know, some of the things I learned, like I told you earlier, stay off a man's grass. That's really important. That's real important. just try not to tear down your fellow man. One thing with, like I said, black people being passionate, give 100%. Don't half-ass anything.
I think that has been a large problem with our community, especially since the pandemic hit. Like, people have gotten like super lazy within the last 2, almost 3 years.
I mean, I get it, because hell, I'm a lazy person. But one of the things I started to realize is that half-assing stuff for me doesn't do anything but make me have to redo whatever I half-assed in the beginning. And one thing about me being lazy, I damn sure don't want to do it twice.
Well, the thing that I always like to think about is, like, Steve Jobs said that he would hire a lazy person because they know the quickest and easiest way to get a job done. So there's nothing wrong with being lazy, but there is another statistic that says that, like, the saddest people in the world are ambitious, lazy people. People who have the ability to be able to think about all these different ideas and concepts, but they don't have the drive or ambition to be able to follow up behind them.
Mm-hmm. And we got a name like that in the South for the folks who act like they don't got any get up and go to. And you know what we call them?
What that there?
Sorry.
No!
Sorry.
Not you sorry son of a gun.
Man, there's a bunch of sorry folks out here.
Sorry bastard.
So you might hear, if you hear me call somebody sorry, just know I'm insulting you. You just sorry. You just sorry. Sorry.
And that's just putting it lightly.
Y'all funny. Do you believe that it's possible for heterosexual black men and women to be platonic friends?
Yeah.
Well, Steve Harvey, he got on Boosie Badass Internet and said that he don't believe that men and women can be friends for real.
All of my friends are men. I don't have female friends. I don't. I'm incapable of that.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, because, come on.
Because you have a wife.
Well, I have a wife, and I don't really have female friends because, look, okay, let's get rid of this myth right here. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. Let's get rid of this right here. You're an attractive woman. There's some guy somewhere saying, yeah, we're friends. No, that's not true. He's your friend only because you have made it absolutely clear that nothing else is happening except this friendship we have. We remain your friends in hopes that one day there'll be a crack in the door, a chink in the armor. And trust and believe that guy that you think is just your buddy, he will slide in that crack the moment he gets the opportunity.
Because
we're
most
guys.
Men think this way?
99.9% of us think that way. And you tell this to a woman and it just blows her back. No, I have male friends. You have male friends because they know it can be nothing else right now. I tell you what, all your male friends, just ask them in a friendly way. If I wanted to date you, would you be okay with that? And watch the fireworks.
Y'all really actually listen to Mr. Potato?
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's our Lord and Savior.
Yeah,
don't nobody listen to Steve Harvey.
Nah.
What you mean?
You'd be surprised how many people listen to Steve Harvey and people like that. Like
every day I wake up in the morning and I act like a woman and I think like a man.
This man don't preach, don't see, that's the problem. That's the fucking problem. This man ain't Jesus. We ain't gonna listen. Look, listen. Men and women can be platonic friends. They need to be platonic friends. Every man needs some woman that he not fucking. That's real important. That he not fucking.
Not sexually attracted to. Or even if he is.
That he
ain't even gonna act on it.
Yep. That he can hit up and be like, hey,
I just want to talk.
I got some shit going on. I want to holler at you real quick. Let me see what you think about it. Every man needs a woman friend that he can come to like that. I have several.
I got a couple.
Real good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Any problem I have, I can call them up. We can shoot the shit. If I'm having problems with my girl, I can talk, have another female perspective. Man, sometimes you need that. Sometimes, shit, you and your girl done got the argument, y'all done had a spat. Shit, you call up your homegirl, man, let me tell you what Shawty did, woo, 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 woo. And homegirl might look at you be like, hey, bro, I hear what you're saying. I see why you're mad, but as a woman, this is why she mad. And she might frame that shit to you in a way that you go, you know what? I see why Shawty was upset. I'll go back and apologize. Appreciate you, homegirl. Then saved my ass plenty of times. Plenty of times.
Well, I know a slew of niggas that done got into a shit ton of trouble because of they female friends and they girlfriends and wives.
Well, you know, there is a balance. You know, sometimes you have to establish things ahead of time and let motherfuckers know, hey, this ain't that.
So you really think that men and women can hang around each other for a long period of time and not like catch any type of emotional feelings or be sexually attracted to each other?
Yeah, I live it.
Dalvin.
I agree. I mean, there may be those feelings that arise, or it may run across your mind, you know, something like that. But if you feel like they are a true platonic friend, you're not going to want to jeopardize their friendship. You're not going to want to just act impulsively, just you know, she's attracted. I want, you know, you have more self-control, I feel like, in a situation, in a relationship like that. And that says a lot about yourself, I feel like.
We do acknowledge that self-control is the highest form of self-love, but upon encountering men in the wild, I've learned that a lot of young men lack self-control.
You know, I'm just sitting here just thinking to myself the whole time, stop putting your dick in everything.
Your tongue too, nigga.
Just stop. You should not, everything should not be poked. I'm telling you. Every woman out here should not be poked. Some of them you just need to talk to.
Have some dignity.
Have some decorum. Where's your couth? You know, these niggas, they real easy out here. They munches.
Munchies?
Mm-hmm. They munches. That's what they doing.
Now you know I'm old. Now you want to give me your game.
Well, you know TT old too, but on the TikTok, the Ice Spice girl said, you know, I'm bad at dude I want pull up on him and he eat it for lunch. That nigga a munch. You know, I think that means that the nigga be eating that coochie real good. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I love to see me a munch coming. You know, I wouldn't get upset if I saw a munch coming my way, but that's just me.
But is he getting the box though?
I don't know. He eating it.
But he ain't getting it?
He ain't getting the box.
He consuming it.
Oh shit.
Maybe,
listen.
Maybe that's enough for him.
Coming from a former munch. Don't do that, niggas. Don't look, listen.
Y'all, I'm not gonna let them listen to this shit. What's wrong with that?
I was young, man. Come on now.
Okay,
This like 15 years ago. Come on, I was young.
Okay.
I ain't know no better.
It's 50-year-old niggas still eating coochie like it ain't no tomorrow.
They have to know this now. They have to hear me say this. Don't do it to yourself. Have some dignity. You are better than this, king.
No, you not.
You. This why they told you shut up.
Don't listen.
Why they told you shut up. Don't do this to yourself, kings. Have some dignity. Look, listen. I understand. I get it. You want to please the woman, but you done ate the box and she ain't gave you none. Pull out.
Eat her ass.
No, pull out. Go home. Count your losses. Throw her away.
Suck her toe.
It is too easy,
bro. Throw her some bread.
They are literally throwing it at niggas.
Our bitches need $40.
And you ain't getting it, and you done ate it. Find somebody else, bro. Do better, King. Do better.
Just throw in the towel. Start over.
Hey, man, this is not no toxic environment. Get back from off my mic. Act like y'all got some sense up in here. Where's y'all decorum? Shit.
This is a professional environment. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Nani, what are you talking about?
Let's transition to the next part of the question. And the question reads, do you believe that it is possible for homosexual men and women to be platonic friends with straight black men?
Yeah. I don't see what the problem is. Listen. We all human, man. We all people. Separate what you like, what you chasing after, all that other shit, and get to know the person inside. It's been plenty of guys that I've been friends with my whole entire life, bro. They done did this, that, and the third with other men. I ain't known nothing about it. And when they let me know, I'm like, okay, cool. You know I ain't like that, right? Cool. We understand? Cool. We gonna keep being friends. And we've been cool. There's nothing wrong with that. What you eat don't make me shit.
Hey, who you fuck don't make me come.
That's all I'm saying. So it shouldn't matter.
And the key word here, guys, is boundaries.
I like your microphone.
Because as Billy was saying, you know, he got friends like that. You know, as long as they don't cross that boundary with him, as long as the friends that I have don't cross that boundary with me, we can continue being friends. We can continue being cool. We can continue kicking it. Whatever. It's when you try to cross that line, when you try to cross into unknown territory that you don't know how to handle when there's a problem. But, you know.
Matter of fact, shit, I say I love my gay friends. I love them to death.
I love mine too.
I love them to death. Matter of fact, I got gay friends so real, bro. We could go out somewhere, and if they know that I'm being hit on by other gay men, they'll come. Hey, bro, I'm gonna let you know now. I'm need he ain't that's not.
That's not.
That's not gonna get you nowhere.
That ain't gonna get you nowhere.
He'll intercept for me. I ain't even gotta, you know, get a whole bravado. He'll cut them off for don't do that.
My God, today.
I've seen it. I've seen it for myself. And I even told him, like, hey, bro, you ain't gotta do that. Like, it's fine. I know how to do it respectfully. I ain't even getting upset. He was like, no, bro, I just know I don't even want them disrespecting you like that. What? I don't even want you to feel like you being disrespected. I respect you that much.
And that's
as
real.
My friend.
If we're going to talk about it, then we got to talk about it. Number one, like I always say, when men get to being overtly loud, overtly negative, overtly nasty, when they see gay men, that is a sign of them being gay. That's a sign of them being DL. That is how he tell another gay man he a gay. And I feel like if you are complimented by a gay man as a gay man, you should be honored. Honestly, them motherfuckers don't just throw around compliments to everybody. And just because another thing is I wish black men understood that just because you ugly in the straight world, if you went to the gay world, that don't mean you gonna be fine. If you ugly in the straight world, you gonna be ugly in the gay world too. Everybody don't want your motherfucking ass.
Yeah. And I've heard members of the gay community say that very same thing you said. Like, look, if we like the same thing women like, what make you, if the women don't like the ugly men, what make you think we want the ugly men? And that shit blew my mind when he said that. I was like, that's a fantastic point.
Honestly.
And a lot of straight men, and if we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna talk about it. A lot of straight men have very poor hygiene. And black gay men tend to have better hygiene. They gonna know how to clean that ass. Because a lot of straight men are scared to clean in between their ass cheek. They think that shit is gay.
Well, see,
it's what?
It's a bunch of stigmas we have
between y'all. Male fragility is male ego is so fragile that y'all scared to wash y'all ass.
And don't say y'all. Don't say y'all, because hell no.
You better
listen.
You right. Some of y'all are afraid.
I had a man tell me that he don't put lotion on his legs because he don't feel comfortable bending over to put lotion on his legs. So this nigga walking around jeans, ashy legs up under, ashy ass legs. No, fuck no, bro. I need lotion on my legs. I'm gonna bend over to put lotion on my legs, on my feet too. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna walk around here.
Bend over to the front,
nigga,
touch your toes,
and get low.
Y'all doing too much. Y'all down that back now. But I'm just saying, it's so fragile that a man can't even put lotion on his legs. For real.
Fuck that. It's like, oh my God, these niggas not wiping their ass after they shit. They scared.
They not even taking 1 or 2 sheets of the toilet paper to wipe their pee when they pee. I've heard. Let me stop. I ain't get into that.
So like they like Boosie wake up with dick on his mind. And we ain't never seen Boosie with no woman before. Unless he paid for the bitch. What, y'all silent now?
Hey, man. That Boosie business. What he eat don't make me shit, remember?
Oh, y'all right. Let me stay. Right.
Remember? What he eat don't make me shit.
And what he fuck don't make me
what
come.
You said? My name Bennett.
And I ain't.
Yep, I ain't in it.
My name Paul in that song.
Okay.
All right.
Dedicated to other grown-ass men. Listen, stop trying to project your insecurities about your own sexuality onto me. You see what I'm saying? I'm a heterosexual cisgender dude that is very comfortable with who I am and what I am, and the presence of somebody else will never make me feel emasculated. Never make me feel like my manhood is being came for. You see what I'm saying? Don't be jealous or envious that I can express myself in love in a way where I don't have to go into any of these homophobic tropes to be able to justify my masculinity or my manhood.
Okay, so the question is it possible for a black woman to raise a man?
To raise a man. Okay, so.
Yes and no.
Me personally, I feel like a woman could raise one hell of a good person. But the issue is, like last episode, I was telling you that the journey to manhood is a self journey to find one's own self. Now, if that child does not have a male figure within the household, he's going to look out within the community to find a male figure, something to model his masculinity behind. Otherwise, you tend to find these men who are a little more emotional than others, who are a little more, I hate to say feminine, I hate to say soft, but you hear these words I'm throwing out, you get the ballpark. You get those guys. So, if a man raised by a woman finds these men from the community and all he finds are, everybody that you consider toxic, then he starts to adapt some of that in his lifestyle, and he gets to the point where his mom is looking at him like, I don't know where the fuck you learned that from, but that's not what I raised you to do. You hear that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that comes from. So I feel like, yeah, you can raise a child to be a good human being, and they can follow that for so long, but then, they have to find their own path. And then that's when they seek out, because what they're looking for ain't in the house, or it's not nowhere around them. So then they got to branch out.
I want to, how much of an influence do you really think like music is on black boys and black men?
Well, I'm a musician. I know how to separate it, but I know that a lot of people take the things they listen to and they internalize it. Like, you got kids living in the suburbs want to sling dope on the street, thinking they hood rich. No, you're not hood rich. Your mama went to work for that shit. Your parents went to work for that shit. Your old folks got college degrees and shit. Y'all drive Mercedes. That's what's in y'all garage. Hell, you stay in a neighborhood with white folks. Y'all ain't staying in the hood. Y'all don't know what the fuck food stamps is. Why you want to be hood rich?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of people who don't have the maturity or the intelligence to separate the lyrics from the lifestyle, because the rappers don't live like that. You look at their house, they got $1 billion houses, fucking mansions and shit, but they rapping like, oh, we hood, we doing all this hood shit. Gang.
But some of them are, especially with like drill rap. Some of the largest drill rappers really are doing what they saying they doing. They really about that for real.
Okay, but once again, they got access to all this money. Do they still live in the hood?
Some of them do.
Okay, you go to their house. Do the house still look run down like it's in the hood? Do it look like the trap house? I bet money they upgraded that money. You come on
at
now.
least a little bit,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Even if they really live in it, that access to that money is gonna upgrade them to a certain extent. But it's only a select few, only a handful of rappers that are actually living the lifestyle that they rapping about.
So, okay, I don't know if you saw the article about NBA YoungBoy. He definitely got in the media and he was like, stop the violence.
Stop the violence. Hey, look at me. I could promise you it's a bigger side of life. Stop the violence. You could be a rich nigga, you hear me? I could promise you. I'm talking about, I ain't gonna tell you what's in my bank account, bitch, but hey, stop the violence. You hear me? Thank you.
And I really liked that because it's a slew of young black boys and young black men that listen to him. And I feel like if he said it, they might follow in his footsteps. How do you feel about it? And do you feel like more rappers should be doing like him?
Well, I mean, it's good that he said stop the violence. I listen to my fair share of YoungBoy, and I can say that it definitely turned you up a little different. But you know, it's one of those things where not only do they have to speak out on it, but it has to be a shift. Maybe not be so aggressive in your songs. Maybe talk about something else.
You know what? I feel like he is. He like just this morning I saw that he dropped a song and he was talking about Kanye West and how he hate that the public made him like hate himself and how he was supposed to stand on all 10 and stay strong. I feel like NBA YoungBoy is turning into NBA Young Man. Ba-boom. Yeah,
anyway,
don't be sexist.
I wasn't gonna be sexist.
I would have been sexist in that moment. I would have been like, take your ass back to the kitchen.
Nah, I was gonna do like a little thing.
No, Lord. But I mean, hey, sometimes you gotta preach a better message, especially if you feel like that they've been the ones giving all this negative all this negative stuff for the past however long they've been rapping. It's probably a good thing that they're going back and saying, hey, we want to change the narrative.
Hell, Kevin Gates been doing it for years now. Kevin Gates on Alhamdulillah. That nigga only talking to Allah in his music. You know what I'm saying? Back 2015, Gates was betting hoes in that shit. He taking communion on his new songs now. That nigga praying. He been peaceful.
Hey, sometimes you gotta switch it up.
No. Okay, I feel like we're getting off topic right now. So, getting back to the question, do you think that it's possible for black women to raise a man, a black man?
So, like Billy mentioned earlier about how the black male looks for what they look for a male figure outside of the household, and mentioned how they may be more emotional or feminine or soft per se, or whatever. And I'm not gonna say I took offense to that because I feel like that's kind of how I am, but that's because of how I, was raised. That's how I grew up. I didn't have any brothers. I hung around my dad, the first few years of my life, and then I just sort of transitioned to hang around with my sisters and my mom a lot more. I don't exactly know why, but it did make me more emotional in a sense. It did make me more feminine in a sense per se. I won't say that I'm soft, but like I can understand and feel what other people feel.
You're an empath.
Yeah, I can, and it really is draining thinking about it. You can just look at somebody, you can see how they are, you can see how tired they look or whatever, how happy they are, and their energy, their whatever they're feeling, it just latches onto you per se.
Were you done with your thought? Because I don't want to cut you off.
Good.
Okay, so like I think that with men being up under women, if the black mother was attentive, then they learn emotional intelligence, and I feel like that is where the like negative connotation of like femininity mixed in, because we all have the duality of masculinity and femininity present within us. No one is 100% masculine and no one is 100% feminine. And I feel like people really struggle with that concept. Like, that's really crazy to me. And we also have to keep in mind that like being black is not a monolith, just like being a man is not a monolith. There's not a right or wrong way to be a black man. And I feel like that limiting concept really is what's hurting the black male community, from the outside looking in. To me, it seems like so fucking restrictive to get in. Recently something that was trending on TikTok was this idea about how black male culture, especially when y'all was like in middle school or in high school, like y'all felt real hurt when the motherfuckers was roasting y'all in real life. My ex, he played football and they was roasting his ass, told him he looked like an upside down ketchup bottle. That nigga still heard about that shit to this day.
Yikes. Ooh, boy, them niggas start files, man.
This nigga
ruthless.
Who said that nigga was from Starville, baby?
Oh, he was.
No.
Ooh.
Get it together.
That's even worse.
Yeah, I told you. The struggle is worldwide.
Ooh, that's even worse.
So, it just seemed like, number one, y'all have such a narrow concept of what being black is. I know black men who are completely feminine and can still fucking change a tire better than some men who appear to be completely masculine. So I don't know. Don't judge a book by its cover, I guess.
Well, when I said that earlier, I want to give y'all my background. I'm a mama's boy. Youngest out of my family, only was my sister. I hung out with my dad, but I got to a certain age. I spent a lot more time with my mom. So I say that based off my own experience. Like I said, my mom raised me to be one hell of a good person. I have the emotional intelligence, everything that y'all speak of. We share those same qualities.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I realized, okay, I see the kind of man my dad is. Do I align with that? In some ways I do. In some ways I don't. Okay, so in the ways that I don't, where do I go from here? So then I started looking at the men of my community and other men that I looked up to, celebrity role models, teachers that I were under at the time, different things like that. And then just kind of made my path from there. So a lot of times you might have these men who, might be super feminine or might be this or might be that, just like y'all said, but they've all found their own path to being their own person. So when I said that earlier, I don't want nobody to think that, I'm dissing anybody.
I don't think anybody would hear you and think you was dissing. I just think that it's important to point it out for representational purposes.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I just want to make sure because some folks are sensitive now.
Yeah, some people.
And I don't want nobody, coming after my head because no smoke.
Because some people will take something somebody says and just
run with it,
completely twist it, 180 it, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, make it their own.
That's why this is a safe place, a safe zone at the Afrocentric Podcast. Hallelujah. Yes.
If a man talks bad about a female, he's that female. I'm going to say that again for you. If a man talks bad about a female, like really, really bad, like why would you say she looks like a shitty emoji? Because you want people to think that's not you.
Do black men realize what they're like when they have no money?
Ooh. I don't know, because, I've been a black male without money and shit. I still feel like I'm a black male without money. If I'm being totally honest, and I got a good fucking job. So,
pause. I heard you, but repeat that question again.
Do black men realize what they are like when they have no money?
I feel like it depends because society has a lot of people, a lot of men, female, whoever you are, feeling like they have to buy this, they have to have this, they have to do that, And if you don't have the money to do said things, then, you feel like you're not fulfilling yourself or, what you should.
So we live in a capitalistic society, and I completely agree with you. Because we live in a capitalistic society, we equate our value with money. So if you have a shit ton of money, that means that you're valuable. And on the flip side of it, if you have no money, you're not valuable within a society like this. The root of the question is really trying to get black men to understand, number one, that they have value outside of money, like tangible money or wealth.
Okay.
Number two, also to emphasize the fact that as a woman in my community, we know that a broke man is a miserable man. I feel like when men are always focusing on, oh, she don't want me because I don't want no money, it's like not just the fact that you broke, but the energy that's associated with it. Because when men have no money, they beat up on themselves. They are terrible to be around when they don't have no money at all.
Okay, now I see where you're going with it. Now, I don't think that a lot of people understand, I mean, they get it because they're going through it, but they may be so wrapped up in their own mind that they don't understand how it plays out on other people, how it spills out on other people. Because, like I told you, I've been a broke black man before, but I've always had that drive of, even though I'm broke now, I'm going to have as much broke fun as I can.
I know that's right.
Amen.
So when I have all this broke fun, I know that I'm going to put in the work that I need to make as much money as I can so I can have more broke fun later. And I mean, I'm talking about I went through 5 years of college like this.
As did I.
As do most college kids. And I mean, hey, you work a shit job, you make your little coins just to go spend it the whole weekend partying or shit, go hanging out, eating and shit.
Or just relaxing, spending time to yourself.
And I think it's more so of the mindset of you have to, you broke, but you know that you can go and work for it. you can get it back. And as long as you can get it back and work harder to get a little bit more, maybe the stress that you're broke doesn't seem so bad.
Well, I personally believe that hustle culture is really harming our community more so than helping our community. Like everybody don't wake up in the morning thinking about money. Everybody don't wake up and money the first thing on their brain, and they going and chasing the bag is not the first thing in their brain. And I also feel like as Black people, we need to start accepting different forms of currency outside of money, like energy, time is a fucking currency. Resources, which are available to do. There's so many things that you can exchange in order to be valuable. Hell, to be honest with you, just living as a Black person makes you a valuable person. But I feel like it's time for, again, Black men to like broaden that, because it's putting a lot of pressure on Black men. Like Black men are suicidal because they broke, for real.
Yeah, that's right. What you feel saying earlier?
Well,
but yeah, I think it's something that's really important for. I agree with you. It's something important that us as Black people to understand, because just like I was telling you, I was out there having my broke fun, but it was a lot of things that I was doing just purely off the strength. Like during my time in college, I was doing marching band. I didn't get a scholarship. I didn't ask for no scholarship. I was just doing it because I simply love music. I would come back to my high school and I would help them in their music program, help the young kids there, help train them up. So when they got ready to go off to college bands, they were successful. We had a handful that did. They teaching now. So like, even with that, even that right there, I wasn't getting paid for that, but that was my time and energy. And that was, I feel like that's a part of my hustle culture. And like I was saying earlier, that's one of the positive things about Black men is that they have this whole hustle culture about them. Like sometimes you have to find things other than monetary that brings you joy. And while you chasing the bag, you chasing this as well.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I think that, again, because of that, like, aggression, the need for aggression, it does limit the amount of things that is okay for you guys to be able to, like, participate in. And anything outside of that very small view is, like, negative, terrible, weird. It's time to broaden the way that y'all look at Black life. I'm gonna shut the fuck up, though.
No, you got a point, niggas. We gonna need y'all to stop being closed-minded, because I, for one thing, and I will say this might be a little aside, but I love the fact that we're now embracing anime and manga in the community.
Love anime and manga.
Because I remember motherfuckers were calling me weird in like 3rd, 4th grade because I was watching Toonami. OGs know who Toonami is, what Toonami is, I should say.
Oh, yes.
But motherfuckers were calling me weird because the first thing I wanted to do was go home and watch Toonami instead of go home and watch 106 in Park.
Or anything on BET, or like keep up with the latest music trends or whatever.
Motherfuckers called me weird because, you know, like I was wearing graphic tees of my favorite video game characters all throughout high school and shit. Meanwhile, they wearing the polo shirts, that they wearing all these polo shirts and Lacoste and all these high expensive brands, and you only in high school, you didn't buy that. Your parents bought that.
And then it make me question how your parents spend and look at their money.
That's what I'm saying. So like I love the fact that the more time passes, we're starting to embrace other things in it. Oh, Black people do this as well. I love that. Let's keep doing that.
As somebody who's been with many broke guys before, I feel like this is a topic I can actually speak on without being biased. Men get on social media and often complain about women not sticking by their side if they do not have money, women only using them for money, women only this and that. But Do men realize what they're like when they do not have money? And this is a serious, genuine question, because we've all been in a point in our life where we don't have money and it's not easy. And I'm not trying to bash anybody at all. But what I'm saying is, when I've dated men who do not have money, they are the most miserable, unfulfilled, unsatisfied men to be around. And I get it. Like, not having money is stressful. But when men don't have money, they don't know what, who, or how to act for you in a relationship. Men associate their worth to money in relationships. So when they don't have that, they are not pleasant partners to be around. They don't ever plan dates on a budget. They're miserable all the time, and they're constantly thinking about how to make 10K in 1 week. I personally feel like this is a perspective worth talking about, because we always talk about it from a materialistic standpoint. Whilst there are women who hold down men in relationships, but I don't think many men realize how they come across when they don't have money.
Yes, so now we're moving right along to the fan questions you wanted to know. We got the answers for you. So the first question for you guys is it possible for Black men to achieve true happiness in relationships if their careers require the majority of their time?
Man, it depends on your woman. You should be able to find happiness in anything you do. Like, me personally, if I don't feel like I'm successful in my career, then I'm not happy. Like, I'm going through job issues right now, drama at the workplace. That's shit that I have to come home and unpack every day. So, that causes me to be a little bit down. Like, I'm sleeping more. I'm a little bit more irritable. Like, I can tell that affects me. So, yeah, if as long as I'm successful and everything's going well in my career, then I feel good. But, a lot of times, if that's taking up all my time, and you have a woman who likes to spend time with you, like going out on dates, likes for you to be all in her space, she's not going to want you to spend all your time at your job. Even when things aren't going well at your job, she ain't going to want to hear you always complaining about what's going on in the workplace. That's something I had to learn. Like, hey, man, sometimes, that shit happen at work, bro. That shit happen at work. Come home, shut the fuck up, go on about your business. So it's one of those things where you have to find a balance between what you got going on in your career life and what you got going on in your home life. You got to find a woman that is okay with the amount of work that you got going on. Because some dudes be busy all the time. Like, it is what it is. And some women understand that, hey, man, just as long as I get a text message from you or a phone call, we good. And, there are women out here like that. So you align yourself with that woman, everything Gucci.
Yeah, and adding on to what Billy said, like, it depends on the woman. It depends on the man, honestly, too, like, in the situation. Because when you're going through something like that, and when you have to prioritize certain things, you have to, like, if you have a partner, if you have somebody you're talking to, they have to understand that. And if they don't, then you can't achieve even like a level of understanding, let alone happiness. Because, okay, say if you're working so many hours a week and you come home, sometimes you're tired, you're expending a lot of your energy most of the day dealing with people who you don't necessarily want to deal with, but it's your job, and you do the best you can. And because you're doing the best you can, because it's sometimes something that you necessarily don't want to do, or some people are just giving you bad energy, you have to redirect yourself and make sure that that negative energy doesn't affect you, because even the smallest little thing can cause your whole day to go haywire. And if you bring that energy home, whoever you're talking to, your partner, whatever, even if you don't mean to, sometimes it'll subconsciously affect them. They're going to wonder what's going on, and then you may react a different way or a negative way, in a way that you normally don't, or in a way that they don't expect. You know, and that may cause some kind of rift in the relationship or whatever. But you have to realize and understand that, because, and I learned this when I first went through management at one of my first jobs.
Come on, management.
When you're at work, you need to focus on work. You need to focus on what you need to do at work. Anything that happens or has happened outside of work, leave it outside that door.
Facts.
When you pull up to work, when you drive to work, you can think about anything that's happening other than work. When you step out the door of your car, when you close it, when you lock it, you can still be thinking about it. But when you walk in that door into your job's establishment, let it all go.
Thanks.
Start thinking about your job. Because if you let anything outside of that door affect you inside of your job, it's just going to throw you off.
But I feel like that also has to serve for the vice versa as well. As soon as you clock out.
Yeah.
As soon as you hit the motherfucking door and you get home, I don't want to hear shit about work.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear about your boss. I don't want to hear about that bitch that shitted in the stall and forgot to flush. I don't want to hear none of that shit.
And that's true. And in that same breath, at the same time, you know, you may want to de-stress and talk about all of that. Your partner or whoever may want you to talk about that. And it depends on you if you want to talk about that, you know. If you need to talk about that to let it go, if you need to just not talk about it, just de-stress some other kind of way, it all depends on you. But whoever you are with, whoever you're talking to, whatever, you just have to have that level of understanding, because otherwise it's just going to be a constant battle of conflict or disagreement or whatever the case may be, you know?
Yeah, I do know. And I think that was a very beautiful explanation, like, because that's real. Let's go ahead and move on to the second question, because I feel like y'all covered everything in that one. The second question is, in relationships, what should a man bring to the table?
The goddamn table. Shit.
What is the table?
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, everything that man is willing to offer. And if he's not willing to offer this or that.
What are the minimum things that men should have before they get into a job? I feel like people feel like whenever they heart desire for them to get in a relationship, that's when they hop in. Like, for starters, I feel like if men are not financially ready to date, they should not be dating.
First and foremost, don't think with your other head, because a lot of times that gets you in trouble, or it just has you doing stuff you shouldn't be doing.
Big facts.
Now, you need to be able to bring stability and reassurance, because nowadays, especially like, and not even just females, like males, we've been traumatized. We've been through this or that, and we don't want to go through that again. We have insecurities. We have, you know, red flags that pop up every now and then. We have things that we shelter ourselves from, and that shouldn't be the case. We should be willing and wanting to love and to give our love to other people, just so as long as they deserve it. And you shouldn't let something that has affected you in the past, or like even recently or whatever, you know, you shouldn't let that affect you and let it dictate what you can do for yourself in the present or in the future, or for someone else.
You know what? You remember I was telling you about that like a couple days ago. I was telling you about how me personally, I went through like issues with my dad, but I don't use that as an excuse to like harm people personally. And this one of my biggest pet peeves with men is like, with some men, excuse me, like they'll go through like hardships with their mom and dad, and they'll use that as an excuse as to why they treat their significant others like shit. And I think that's lame, because if I'm able to separate and emotionally deal with my issues on my own, I feel like a lot of other men should be able to be held to that same standard.
Comes with maturity.
Yeah. And with maturity doesn't necessarily come age. It comes with experience. It comes with your ability to comprehend and discern what's, what needs to be done, what's right, what's wrong, how you feel, because emotions and thoughts are truly what run the world. People may say money run the world or whatever, but
you really right.
None of that starts without a thought. None of that starts without somebody speaking something that they thought. So just be mindful of what you think, mindful of what you perceive, and think about other people, because I mean, yeah, you may have gone through hardships, and yeah, I always feel I feel sorry. I don't necessarily want to say I feel sorry, but I sympathize with people who've been through hardships and gone through this and that in their childhood. But don't let that affect you. I know it's hard because a coworker of mine, I remember one day I just mentioned something about everything happens for a reason, and I truly believe that. And he was like, well, I was this and that when I was younger. I'm not going to disclose the information, but when he said that, I was like, dang, that kind of like puts a damper on my belief, everything happens for a reason. And I got to thinking again on it, like, okay, it does happen for a reason. We wouldn't have been having this conversation right now if that didn't happen. And I'm not trying to say that whatever happened to him was okay or not okay, whatever. But things happen for a reason. And conversations happen for a reason. People talk to each other for a reason. People feel what they feel for a reason. And a lot of times we don't know how to express how we feel. Sometimes people just show up in our lives and start talking to us, and boom, that's what we needed. But we can't take everything negative that's happened to us and use it as an excuse, as a crutch,
as a justification
as to why things are the way they are for you now.
Yeah.
Because you control what you do. And it takes a lot of mental power. It takes a lot of experience and emotional intelligence to realize that and to capitalize on that. And not a lot of people can really just sit down and think about that, being honest. A lot of people just go with the flow with life, and I feel like they're just aloof, for lack of a better word, And I ain't trying to diss nobody or nothing like that. That's just how I perceive the world right now,
I do. This is beautiful. Y'all want to move on to the next question? What are y'all takes on marriage as Black men?
I personally want to get married. My parents are still married. I remember at one point they were arguing per se, or like they had a disagreement or whatever. And that was actually the first time I felt that they would, break up or divorce or whatever. But they ended up working through it. I don't even think it lasted a couple of weeks, to be honest. But yeah, like I said, I want to get married eventually. And just in the recent years of my life, like the past 4 years even, it takes a lot more energy than you think than you probably may have thought to maintain a relationship like that. Even not even marriage, but like just a regular relationship. It could be even a friendship, because everybody, every person, every being is different. And if you can't understand that you are somebody that complements somebody else, and not you're just you're not just with them, you complement them, whatever they do, you can do the opposite of, or you can do the same, or they know what you're going to do. It's on a lot deeper level than people think and probably even understand.
Well, let me ask you this. Why do you think there's such a negative connotation associated with marriage in the Black community?
Because folks scared of commitment.
They're scared of commitment. They don't understand. They probably don't understand what it means to commit.
What does it mean to commit?
I barely know myself.
Damn.
Because,
do you know?
I'm not
to commit.
Yeah.
Oh, man, look. It look different for everybody, but I do know that it's more so an agreement. That's what marriage is like to me, an agreement. Y'all sit down and you like, all right, we're gonna spend the rest of our lives with each other. No matter what happened, it's us. It's gonna be us. This shit go to shit, it's gonna be us dealing with this. House blow up, we gonna be in it. World end, we ending with it together. It's us.
We decide to rob a bank, we both do it.
Ride or die, Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
See that, and that leads me to another question: is do y'all feel like Black men have like an overt obsession with struggle love, especially when it comes to Black women? I feel like when it comes to Black women, they like make Black women struggle and fight for their love. They want their ride or die love, which is struggle love.
Now, I
honestly feel like there are different forms of struggle love. Kind of like in one sense how you were saying, in another sense how I feel like some women, some females are subconsciously dependent on males, that it leads them to do things that they may not have normally wanted to do, or what they probably shouldn't do. And that's not always in a bad way, because whoever they are talking to or were talking to might be good for them or whatever. But it's the fact that they feel like they have to be with that person. They have to.
I guess my question is it that they feel like they have to be with that person, or is it that they don't want to see that person with someone else? Because I also feel like, again, that's struggle love.
It's probably they don't want to. Yeah, it's a little both, but mostly they don't want to see that person with someone else. I know I felt that way before. But like, especially if say for instance, okay, this girl's dating this guy, and they've been together for a few months. Everything's all good. They love each other and whatnot. And he does something slightly out of the ordinary. Might not be malicious. It might not be innocent. It's just, he did something out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks at it. She takes it as, oh, okay, why are you doing this? Are you doing something for somebody else? It's just a switch. Sometimes I don't know what causes that, because I've been through that before. Like, everything could be all fine. Y'all can have conversations. Everything's all peachy. And then you get on a subject, you mention one thing, and then it just snaps. Like the demeanor, the attitude, the way you treat it.
Trigger.
Just triggered. Yeah. And sometimes you don't know why. Sometimes you figure out why later. But I feel like when it comes to that, females, people, males, whatever, they look for that security when they don't know where else to go. They don't have anywhere else to go. They know where they're comfortable.
What they trying to fill a void within themselves.
They're trying to. I feel like they're, in a sense, trying to fill a void, but like more so trying to understand why they are that way. If that makes sense. Like,
yeah, I mean, these relationships. What is it? These relationships are the remakings of the relationships that you're having with your parents. So that's why they're trying to figure out why they are their way, subconsciously and consciously for some people. Some people got issues.
Yeah, so.
But I mean, still, the question is, what is y'all take on marriage? Should a man be marriage driven or goal driven?
Goal driven.
You want me to be honest?
Be honest.
Neither.
Damn, what should they be focused on?
Themselves. I mean, and not in like a, fuck this or fuck that kind of thing. Like, focus on yourself. And when you focus on yourself, you'll know if you want to be marriage driven or goal driven. And even if you're goal driven, doesn't mean that you're not going to be married. And just because you're marriage driven doesn't mean you're not going to have a goal that you're going to be working towards.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hate that, especially recently, society has tried to make it so where we have to choose between this or that, or if we're not this, then we're that, or if we're this, then we can't be that. Why can't we just be ourselves? Like I said earlier, yeah, I want to be married eventually, but I also know that I have goals, and I have goals that I have not even thought about yet, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because people go through different stages in life. People go through different things in different parts of their life. And it doesn't matter at what part of your life you're in, as long as you understand where you are for yourself and what you need to do for yourself. And whoever you come across, if they feel like you should be this way or another, tell them how you are, tell them who you are. And if they don't understand, if they don't comprehend, if they're not on the same wavelength, then, maybe they're not for you.
Fuck them. The next question is, how do you feel about Black women who fail to listen or understand your point of view in an argument or a conversation?
Ouch. Treat them just like everybody else. Oh, you don't want to listen? Okay. That's cool. Blow it off, man. Look. Don't waste your breath on people who don't want to listen. Black, white, yellow, brown, pink, anybody. If they don't want to listen to words come out your mouth, fuck them.
The Bible say, cast not your pearls into the swine.
I feel like I agree with Billy on that. And I do. And I also feel like there's another side to it. Because me personally, from my experiences, like, and with the whole, black male stigmas and all that kind of stuff going on, like the standard that some of us or society has us feeling that we have to live up to. One of my recent relationships, a few years ago, it started off good. Everything was all right. And then something happened and it just snapped. And we just had problems. We started having arguments. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, we're better than this. Let's work this out. Let's work through this. Let's not make this, what our relationship is about. Let's not make it, we're going to be arguing every week or whatever. So on my end, I did what I could, or what I felt was right for me in my situation, to make things work. Long story short, nothing that I was saying was being heard. And I don't know if it was because of like insecurities on the other party's end, on her end, or if it was just, I don't know. Because when you're in a relationship and you try to per se convince the other person that this isn't going on, or this is what's happening, or you're doing this and nothing's going on, etc., and they're still not, like, just based off the words that you're saying, and y'all have only been talking for about a month or so, they're still not understanding, they're still not at least trying to believe what you're saying, they're just combating it at every corner. That's not something that should be for you. And when people fail to listen to you, and I say this a lot, like, I have conversations with people, we'll talk about something and I'll say something and I'm like, this is that, or that is this. A few weeks later, or whatever, they'll come back to me like, man, you was right, yeah, I know, people don't listen to me. And I'm not saying that to, toot my own horn or whatever, but like, open your ears, listen to people when they talk to you. Like, it's not always what people tell you, what people say to you is not always against you. It's not always to belittle you or whatever. And it's like I tell my employees at work, I'm a manager, when I correct them on something, when I say this or that, like, hey, do this or do that, it's to better you, it's to help you out. And
what you saying does hold enough weight, a lot of weight. Number one, I feel like when we be talking about, like, even just small things like jokes, I be telling you shit like all jokes contain true shit, so you have to listen to shit like that. But moreover, I feel like you should be able to live. Number one, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for one reason, but also you should be able to learn something from anybody that you come in contact with. And people have this like bias, like they feel like they're so much better than, or they know so much better than, or they have more money than, so they don't have to listen to. But you can learn something from a fool. You can learn anything from an idiot as long as you're listening and paying attention. So I feel like in the bias and the guts of it is be observant and don't count shit out just because you feel like you know something. Just listen and observe.
And I know sometimes, facts. Sometimes I might struggle with that too, because there may be some things that somebody's talking about that I already know about or know how to do, and I'll say, oh yeah, I already know how to do that. Some people really take offense to that. Some people really get offended when you say that, because it might have taken them 2 months, 2 years to figure out how to do that, and it just came easy to me or you, and you just, not everybody is mindful or conscious about things like that.
Yeah. Also, I feel like people don't understand the fact that like everything isn't warranted a response. Like there has been many, like it's been many times where I have been in situations where I knew exactly what someone was talking about, or I had a better understanding of what they were talking about, and I didn't try to correct them, I didn't belittle them, I didn't try to make them feel bad. I just didn't say nothing, and I let them explain themselves, because everything does not need a response or a correction. If you know what the fuck going on, act like it.
And that honestly takes a lot of emotional strength, emotional intelligence not to do that, especially if you're somebody like me, because
say it.
I'll look at something like just a story or an article, some kind of writing or whatever. I'll see a grammatical error and like I'll instantly be like, damn, that's wrong. Damn, I need to correct that. But it's already been published. Like a lot of times it's been whatever I read, it's been on the internet or whatever. It's been out there for at least a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the point of me trying to correct it? But that's just how, that's just how I am. That's just who I am. And that's something that I had to learn how to control, especially in verbal conversations, because, or, just other situations, like somebody might be showing me something. Because some people really take offense to that. Some people really don't understand that you're just genuinely, harmlessly correcting something that they see.
Yeah. Shit. Let's move on, because we got one more question and we don't want to wear them out. And we got the best question for the last ski. And the question is, why do you believe that women cut off the sex without any explanation in the relationship?
Well, depending on your angle, which way you want to look at it. It could be some insecurities. Could be somebody in your grass.
Boy, stop!
I'm just saying, hell, you said be truthful. I'm being truthful, man. Somebody could be in your grass, got to cut your grass. Like somebody in your grass, keep out.
Not the snakes in the grass.
Keep out. Goddamn, but look, this is what you do. Do what you do. And y'all say this, I'm speaking from personal experience, but this is what you do. You in a relationship, you have been getting it in the past, and I'm assuming whoever asks this question is going through this. Let me help you out, brother. What you do is you sit back and you tell them, hey, this is something that is important to me. This is something that I enjoy. This is something that we partake in that gives me pleasure. And I would prefer if you would bestow the pleasure upon me.
Come on.
I would love it if you bestow the pleasure upon me so that I may bestow the pleasure back to you.
Come on, bestow.
So, you have that conversation. If things work out, if she with you, she work with you, she understand. If she hearing you, that should solve the problem. It should. But, sometimes, you can be a little hard of hearing in your left ear. So, you got to come over to the right ear. Hey, ma'am, once again, I love you, sweet cheeks. I love you to death. You look beautiful. And I just want to let you know what you do to me is lovely. I love it so much. And I just ask if we could do that again, bestow upon me the pleasure, so I may bestow upon you back the pleasure as well. Like I said, the left ear go deaf. Sometimes you got to come over to the right ear. Now, when you come over to that right ear, and you tell it to that right ear, that should make something shake.
That's gonna make something shake.
That should. I ain't gonna say that gonna make something shake. I said that should. Make something shake. Now if that don't make nothing shake,
well,
you gotta have this conversation.
Oh wow.
Now, sweet cheeks, I want you to understand something. I'm a man, baby.
And
a man have needs.
I know.
And you know what you won't do. I know a bitch out here that I shoot her this $40, she makes something shake, and you know we go about our business, you know, and I'm letting you know this because I am a man. I want to be transparent with you to let you know you don't have to do this. But if you see me over here with $40 chick, don't look at me crazy because I tried to come to you first.
As a woman,
I tried to come to you first. Now, see me, I was the man that I gave you most. I see now. I told you 2 times. That's it. I told the times that we've had conversation multiple. I think I went like a good 6-7 months having this conversation. And by the time I looked at her and said, "Look here, shawty, I'm gonna need for you to make something shake." I guess in her head, whatever she had going on, like I said, maybe somebody was in the grass and I ain't know nothing about it.
It was more important than what you had going on.
Whatever she had going on, it made her think, you know, if that's not something that I want happening, maybe I should do something about that.
You said you was waiting on a piece of pussy for about 6 months now.
No, not now.
Back then and there, and
you know, like I said, young dumb.
And
young dumb. It was longer because you have to think. Hell, at the time, it wasn't when I was getting it, so it wasn't all that important to me. So I could go a little while before that urge get to knocking. But you know, the urge got to knocking, and you're young, so you know it sticks his boat. And I look at her, hey, and she like, nah.
You know, the Bible say that when the devil offers temptation, the Lord will provide room for you to flee.
Well, she was definitely fleeing, and she fled for them 6-7 months, 6-8 months.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Listen.
I also feel like you have to be realistic though, because it's real reasons why women cut off sex from men.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Because number one, I want to say that if I'm fucking a man and I stop fucking him, it's probably because he don't know what he doing.
And well, you know, these dudes out here don't know what they're doing. And I mean, some women feel insecure about themselves. Some women don't feel like they sexy no more. And, you know, that cuts them off, which, you know, I'm going to put this out there for any women that might be tuned in. If he coming back forward, he don't give a damn what you look like. You still look good. If he can get it up for you, you still look good. Don't get out your head. Get out your head. You ought to see what some men poke out here.
That is a great point.
You ought to see what some men are poking out here. Just because you gained a little weight don't mean you ugly, baby. That's all I'm saying.
And that's real.
You gain a little weight, don't mean you ugly, baby.
Now, back on this question again. So, I feel like from my experience, or at least from what I've heard, like, women will cut off the sex way before, like, they cut off the relationship or whatever. Because they either... And like Morgan and Billy had mentioned before, like sex ain't good, or somebody else is in the grass, you know, whatever. But like, it'll be a month before you realize that, as a male, that you realize that she is uninterested in you, don't want to have sex with you anymore. And it's like a complete shift. And it could be something you did. It could be something that she's feeling and didn't want to tell you. And it happens sometimes. Like, I don't know. Like, I've been through that before. It's just, you gotta recognize when that happens so you can try to reconcile it in some kind of way, at least.
Hence why you talk to the left and right ear first before you hit him with that last one. And give him a chance.
Amen.
Have a conversation first. You might be surprised at what's going on in the background. You don't know nothing about it. Like I said, that self-conscious thing is a motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
It's a motherfucker. And I joke about somebody being in your grass. that's not impossible, but it's less likely. What's more likely is either you don't know what you're doing, or shawty just feel like she ugly. Which, you know, I can't help you if shawty feel like she ugly.
Now you running out. Now you running out. Now
I'm just saying.
That it's not possible at all that she could have another piece of dick somewhere else and she got bored of your dick.
Like I said, I didn't say it was impossible. I just said typically.
Okay.
Yes. Typically.
Okay.
What happens is you don't know what you're doing.
Oh wow.
Or she feel like she ain't hit popping like she used to.
Oh wow.
That's all I'm saying. Now, you know, I'm trying to give folks benefit of the doubt. I ain't trying to put this shit all out on the interwebs. This Al Gore's internet. I ain't trying to put that shit out there.
This is Lil Boosie Badass internet.
Okay.
This is Kevin Samuel internet. This is Barack Hussein Obama internet.
Like I said, I ain't trying to put these folks out on these folks' internet like that. I'm trying to save somebody.
The internet.
The interwebs.
I'm trying to save somebody here. Like I said, man. But sometimes she might feel like she ugly. Sometimes you might not know what you're doing. That's why you have to have a conversation with the left and right here, just to make sure y'all on the same page.
Along with the conversation with the left and the right ear, you need to have a conversation with the brain, with the heart, with the body, with the legs, with the arms, because the whole body, because the spirit, emotions, all of that. Because elaborating on what Billy said, like some women really just feel like you're not attracted to them anymore. You might be laying with them every night, y'all might have sex or whatever, but she might still feel like you're not attracted to her because you're not doing this and you're not doing that. You're not showing this and you're not showing that. Women, you're still beautiful, whether they show it or not. You don't need the validation from them. You may be in a relationship with them or whatever, and you may want that from them. But if they're not willingly wanting to show that to you, I'm not saying go find another man. I'm not saying, do this or do that. Work it out, talk to him, let him know about it. And if he's not understanding, go find better, because he's not for you.
How come we always tell women, you know what, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. Wow, such beautiful comments for the men of the black community.
I know what question she was about to ask. We gonna say that for the next time.
Yep. I'm gonna let it go.
We gonna say that for the next time.
Cause I love black men, and I'm not here to anger the black men. I want the black men to do better and love Jesus. And
matter of fact, y'all tell her to bring me back so we can talk about it. Just let y'all know.
I'll come back too if you want me to.
They gonna bring y'all back and tell me to stay my ass at home. Come.
Shout out to the slaves.
Yeah, shout out to the slaves. You feel me? Shout out to Harriet Tubman.
Shout out to she's a real nigga.
Shout out to the real niggas.
And shout out again to all those people who hate my guts.
Y'all are doing a justice and an effort to the world. Keep breaking these men down one at a time.
You are obsessed and sick.
Yes, and now it's time for the biggest, blackest, juiciest, veiniest, wettest shout out on this side of the Mississippi River. The big black shout out is an opportunity to help circulate the black dollar back into our communities, and an opportunity for my audience members to explore black-owned hidden gems and businesses. So, Billy, who would you like to shout out today?
I like to shout out my boy Trapware. That is TRAP_wear. WARE.
Shout out
on Instagram. He makes hand painted trinket boxes and handcrafted resin trays. He makes apparel and home goods. Get at him. End tables, coffee tables, you name it. He probably got it. And if he ain't got it, hit him up. He'll probably make it for you.
That's beautiful.
And then I also want to shout out myself. I'm an artist. My tag name is Stroke, STROKKE _ on Instagram. Check me out. I do a bunch of custom made portraits, cartoon, all that AI stuff that y'all been putting on. Y'all been paying that $2.99 for it, feeding that algorithm, No, man. Feed a black man. Pay me 30. Pay me 30. Feed a black man. Pay me 30.
Yes. That's beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Dalvin, who would you like to shout out today?
Yes. First and foremost, one of my lovely sisters, Chelsea Tate. Her business is called Resonating Designs, as in resin, like RESINATING. You can find her on Facebook at Chelsea Tate. You can just search my name, find her under my friends or whatever, or just search the name, whatever you want to do. But she sells like resin keychains, badge reels. She can do custom wooden letters, 8 inches, 12 inches, 14 inches, however you like. Custom ashtrays, custom rolling trays, etc. Just hit her up. All products are made to order and require a time frame between 2 to 14 days, depending on the product. So whatever you would like, just hit her up, send her a message. Pretty sure she can get you set up. And you'll definitely like the product she'll give you. I remember getting something for one of my friends one time. It was for her dogs. It was like a dog bone and some letters. She really loved it.
Yes, that's how you shamelessly plug right there. Yes, because here at the Afrocentric Podcast, we are shameless plugs. So who would you like to shout out next, Dalvin?
Next, I want to shout out my loctician, Miss Joy Divine I Am. She has a shop here in Starville, Mississippi. I don't know the address right now, but it is called Maroon Cuts. If you just Google it, I'm pretty sure you can find it.
Ain't that back behind Rick's Cafe?
Rick's Cafe. No, it is. It's close to not CVS. It's close to C Spire, on Highway 12. It's near where the railroad crosses Highway 12. But anyways, she does locks. She does all kind of hairstyles. She always does my hair good. I go to her proudly. Don't mind paying her for what she does. Her work is great. If you want to find her Instagrams, one of them is Maroon Cuts. That's MaroonKutzLOCZ. That's on Instagram. And she also has another page, Miss Joy MZJOYY, 2 Y's. Make sure you put 2 Y's. _ Divine I Am. DIVINEIAM. And you can look at some of her work on there. You may even see my head on there. I know she's taken a picture of me before. But yeah, if you need to get your hair done, just go to her for all your needs. She also has barbers in there too for you guys. If you need your hair, if you need your line, if you need a lineup, if you need a cut, whatever you need, they got it for you.
Oh, well, that is so beautiful for all the Black-owned businesses from here to Nantucket. Now, remember, if you are a Black-owned business and you would like to be shouted out at the Afrocentric Podcast, make sure you are emailing me at afrocentricpodcast@gmail.com. That's afrocentricpodcast@gmail.com.
Please forgive me for any sins in which I committed, those I know of and those I don't know of, Lord. Lord, please forgive me for beating this bitch ass today, Lord. Lord, please forgive me for thinking about beating her ass again, Lord. Please rebuke all these demons that's in this house, Lord. I pray unto you, Lord. Is that really necessary?
And now it's time for the final segment of any podcast episode. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life, us here at the Afrocentric Fresh Breath of Life and Zion Church of Martha and Jacob and such. We're just here to let people know that we're yet praying and fasting and hoping for them. And it's an opportunity to let the prayers of the righteous be heard and the just understood. Amen. So, I want to pass this for the sick and shut in list, Brother Billy.
Lord have mercy, we just pray for all the 90s babies out there we lost an icon this past weekend. Goddamn Tommy Oliver. Green Ranger gone, y'all.
Amen.
He gone, y'all. He ain't gonna be no more putting his foot in putty booty no more, man. It is out here sad, dog. We down, man. We done lost an icon, bro. We done lost an icon. Rest in peace to the White Ranger, dog.
If you know, you know.
Church is in mourning. Glory to God. The church is in mourning. Oh, yeah. The church is in mourning. Good God Almighty. Another soldier, a true-born soldier, has gone home. Hallelujah. Well, we're here today.
So here at the Full Gospel Church of Afrocentric of God and Christ, where the water baptizes us fully, we are praying for Monroe County, North Carolina. More than 40,000 people are currently without electricity in North Carolina after 2 power substances were damaged by the domestic terrorist group Vanilla ISIS. This attack happened because of a drag show in Southern Pines, North Carolina, that was disrupted as a result of the power substance being shot up. So here I just wanted to remind you, black people of Moore County, North Carolina, it might be cold outside, but the sun is inside. Y'all not hearing me. I said it might be cold outside, but the sun, S-O-N, is inside. Amen.
Father God, Lord Jesus, the creator of heaven and the earth, we come before you right now. Somebody called you a burden bearer. Somebody called you a heavy load carrier. Somebody called you a wheel in the middle of a wheel. But I'd like to call you the creator of all things right now. For you put a leaf on a limb, and a limb on a branch, and a branch on a tree, and a tree on some roots, and the roots in the dirt, and the dirt in a hole, and the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around. The green grass grew all around Jesus. Now I want to thank you for chicken. Thank God for chicken.
Here go, right here. Hey, you youngins over there. Look here. Look a little bit. Look at me. Do this. Come on, got it, yeah. Ain't nothing like a good man, loving his woman and strong in his stand. Ain't nothing like a good man, loving his woman and strong in his stand. Strong in his name, no passion and all.
I just wanted to take the time again to thank you guys so much for hopping into Black Men's Business with me today. I really enjoyed this conversation. I also wanted to thank you guys so much for bearing your truth and taking the opportunity to talk to the Black men of the universe on this planet or the next one. Do y'all have any final words that y'all want to give y'all fellow brethren before we close?
Hey, man. I love y'all, man. Stay up out here, dog.
Stay strong, stay safe. We don't have enough black love out here, and we need to embrace it a lot more.
Don't let these crackers get to you. Don't let these bitches sweat you. Get your motherfucking money. Stay strong, my nigga. And keep doing your motherfucking thing.
Tell them to go to therapy.
Oh,
most
definitely. Just like she said, go get some therapy.
If you feel like you need to go,
No, even if you don't feel like you need to, just go anyway. Just make sure, cause hey, if your woman don't listen to you, how about you pay somebody to listen to you? Then that way, you can get whatever off your chest, and you ain't gotta worry about no judgment.
Black women not listening to black men no more. They gotta pay for therapy.
Apparently. Apparently.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for choosing to be Afrocentric today. Please remember that Black Lives Matter. We are listening and protecting Black women and children. And the only thing you must do in this lifetime is be Black and die. Here at the Afrocentric Podcast, we are just civilized people having civilized conversations. Bye-bye now.
Be careful as a woman of what you demand of a man.
I demand that he be a man.
But you can't
because
say,
the provision part.
Yeah, but you can't say you demand it. You have to suggest it.
Well, that's your ego that says that. No, I demand it. Now you deal with that.
All right. Okay.
I'll
even go with that.
I demand that you be a man, and I don't think that that's asking too much. It means I need a man, and black men have always been offered to provisions. People are either going to eat or starve to death. Sometimes you are not able to feed your family. Sometimes you are not able to clothe your family. Do you then also deprive them of your manhood and of the input that a man has? Who teaches my son how to pee?
Yeah, but
you see?
Yeah, but you're talking. I agree with you. I see that very well. What I really mean is that yes, a man can do that if he sees a way. If he sees that it means something. My father couldn't see that. And he was quite right, because there wasn't anything.
There's something, because all I know that works in the world is a relationship.
Yes, all right.
Okay, that's all that's going to work. It takes two people to have a relationship.
Yeah, but